Hello all my super friends. Welcome back to my channel once again. Today I want to talk about something other than the Snyderverse or the Flash movie. In fact, I want to talk about Matt Reeves' The Batman. I would be totally honest with you, unlike many other people, I knew Robert Pattinson was going to nail the role of Batman and Bruce Wayne. I thought he looked exactly how a young year one Bruce Wayne would look. Although at the same time, I was disappointed that I didn't get to see Ben Affleck's Batman solo movie. But later on I came to know that this movie was not set in the DCEU. And the moment I came to know about that, I had no problems with this movie whatsoever. I was super excited to watch Robert Pattinson in action as the Caped Crusader. Some people say the character of Batman has suffered from too much rebooting. I will come to this argument later, but first I want to talk about something more important in the context of the current DCEU. I personally believe that Warner Brothers are too obsessed to achieve the level of success that the MCU had achieved. It wants to gain that level of commercial success that the MCU has had. Let me tell you that I am a huge fan of Marvel and the MCU. I cried like a little baby after watching No Way Home. Yes, it is possible to be both a Snyderverse fan as well as an MCU fan. The thing is, DC will never ever be able to become the MCU. And the same goes for the MCU as well, that it can never ever become something like the DC universe. DC has always produced great masterpiece movies when it fully embraces its own identity, its own darkness and its grittiness. Sure, DC has light-hearted characters like Shazam, Peacemaker, Aquaman or Harley Quinn, but the biggest X factor for DC, at least in the live-action cinematic history, has been to produce real-world, dark and gritty and relatable movies. You can take for example the Nolan's trilogy, Joker or the Snyderverse trilogy. And I have a strong feeling that the Batman will be a part of this list as well. I can already tell from the trailers I have seen so far that this movie is going to give me exactly what I want from a DC movie. The stylistic tone, the gothic looks of Gotham, the real-world menacing villains and everything else about this movie looks so gorgeous. It is our chance to support this movie and tell Warner Brothers that this is what we want from you. We want you to embrace the darkness, the grittiness and realistic tone of DC characters. We do not want a comedic MCU ripoff. Another reason that we Snyderverse fans need to support the Batman is that, until we get our Snyderverse restored, the Batman is the best alternative. We will definitely get our Snyderverse restored, 100%, it may take a little patience, but it will be restored definitely. If you are a true DC fan, there is no way you can miss this movie. While I do not have too much of a problem in rebooting the Batman character, but I do have a bit of an issue when there are two or more people playing Batman at the same time. We did not even get a proper standalone movie of our main DCEU Batman, that is Ben Affleck, and we are introduced another Batman already. I do have an issue with that, but after observing and taking into account whatever is going on in the DCEU and Warner Brothers, I would take this reboot with open arms. I am happy that at least we are getting a proper gorgeous Batman movie even after so many problems behind the scenes. But I sincerely hope that Robert Pattinson remains Batman for at least the next 10 years, and at some point get included in the main DCEU. Lastly, I would like to again request DC and Warner Brothers to stop trying to be like the MCU. I am a big fan of the MCU and all their movies, especially Avengers Infinity War and Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And I am also a huge fan of DC and Snyderverse. The beauty of both Marvel and DC lies in the fact that they are both so different and unique in their own ways. Without either one of them, my life is incomplete. Marvel has embraced itself. And I give them all the credit for that. I am sure better things are going to come for DC and Snyderverse as well. Let the fandom of both Marvel and DC come together and support each other in times of crisis. We need both of them. Think about it. Just think about it for a moment, if Marvel doesn't exist anymore or DC doesn't exist anymore. Let's all hope and pray that DC gets back on its feet. And I am very sure the Batman is the first step in the right direction for DC. So please support this movie, guys. This movie does not affect the Snyderverse in any way. This is exactly what we need from a standalone Batman movie. We do not need an old Bruce Wayne replacing Ben Affleck or anything of that sort. I hope things get better from here on for DC. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments section. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.